Good afternoon, and welcome to the closing ceremony of the International Space University Southern Hemisphere Space Studies Program of 2017. My name is Omar Hatamli. I'm the Program Director, and will be the Master of Ceremony today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2017 Southern Hemisphere Space Studies Program into the program. Thank you. It's my pleasure to welcome you all. In gathering here today, we acknowledge the Ghana people, who are the traditional custodians of this land. We pay our respect to their elders, past and present, and extend the respect to other Aboriginal people present. I would like to acknowledge the representatives from the University of South Australia for their generous sponsors, Professor Chancellor Simon Beecham, Associate Professor Brenton Danzy, Dean of Teaching and Learning, Mr. Harry Seeger, Deputy Mayor, Mount Barker District Council, and Mr. Nicolas Sastanelli, Defense SA. Our program is made possible by many supporting sponsors. Our program sponsors are the Sir Keith Smith Fund, the Secure World Foundation, the European Space Agency, NASA, the Sky and Space Global, the Heinlein Trust, and the Ray Williamson Fund. Our event sponsors also are Defense SA, Nova Systems, Serafino Wines, Mount Barker District Council, Anthonian Australian Services, Galipa Foods, Romaldi Constructions, Amateur Radio Experiment Group of Adelaide, Airbus Geo, the Royal Aeronautical Society of Australia, the South Australian Department of Environment, Water and Natural Resources. It does not seem very long that we were here welcoming the class of 2017. The opening ceremony was 5 weeks ago, and that's really flown by fast. And to give you an idea of some of our activities, we have a short video to share with you. So the class of 2017 has elected one of the student representatives to talk about their experience with the program. It's my pleasure to present Ziwa Ju. Ziwa, he's a mechanical engineer, mechanical and aerospace engineer graduate. He graduated with honors from the University of Adelaide. He's also a regional coordinator for the Asia Pacific at Space Generation Advisory Council. Please welcome Ziwa Ju.
Can everybody hear me clear at the back? All good? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to our honorable guests and SU alumni. Thank you for coming and join us as for our closing ceremony. My name is Ziwa Ju, and I'm one of the participants of the 2017 Southern Hemisphere Space Studies Program. And I'm honored to stand here today to deliver this speech with the support from my fellow colleagues. Space captures human imagination throughout history. Man has continued to look to the dark sky and wonder about what lies beyond. This curiosity has led us all here today. This sense of wonder connects all of us. And this is important because it is only with the help of each other that we are able to produce this greatest impact and make the lives of people better. After intense past 5 weeks, we are proud to say that we are able to produce a comprehensive and a thought-provoking paper discussing the role of small satellites in improving the lives of people in the Global South. Our team was composed of dedicated participants with diverse academic and professional backgrounds. We have gathered from 11 countries and represent different sectors in terms of science, engineering, policy, medicine, law, and business. This diversity proved invaluable as we discussed this topic from different angles. Our hope is that this paper reaches policy and decision makers and real actions can be taken. We wish to encourage people to think beyond and in order to build a better, more sustainable life for mankind. All of this would not be possible without the dedication and the hard work of several people who deserve our utmost gratitude. Oma, where are you? Oma and Graciela, we thank you for your dedication, and your hard work has been reflected in the high quality of this program. Thank you for showing us. Thank you for showing us how to think innovatively. Juan, Ray, David, and Noel, we thank you for your guidance. Your profound experience and advices are invaluable asset to us. Michael, we thank you. You are a leader in Australian space industry. We thank you for your inspiration and mentorship and opening a new road for us in terms of introducing this program and IAC to Australia. Carol, where's Carol? Ah, there it is. Carol, we thank you for your patience, your deep understanding of cultural differences and the language barriers. You help to facilitate our participants and help us to be more active in the course. Nick. Whoa. Nick, Mark, and Anderson, we thank you for your hard work. Your dedication and flexibility make everything much easier for us. And Leslie, your silent hard work is the center column for this program. We know that it's not easy to organize and have everything organized at a time, and we are going to miss you next year. And to our dear beloved TAs, who are graduates from previous programs, and they are just the best. Thank you, Dom, for your Dom slaughter. Lydia, for your epic messages. Alex, for always being a big sister and looking after us. Thank you, Tristan, for boosting our morale and being a great friend. And thank you, Rose, for not actually leaving us when we're late for the bus. And special thanks to Greg, Eduardo Machine, and Lawrence, a.k.a. Andrew, to help me put this speech together. 5 weeks ago, we arrived here as 39 individuals. But today, we graduate as one family. And so I would like to say thank you to my fellow colleagues. Please understand this is not the end, but only the beginning. Well, maybe it's the end for some Baiju 9. No more Baiju. But I assure you, this is a fresh start for all of us. We are living with new knowledge, connections, experiences, but most importantly, friends for a lifetime. And with those, I ask that we all look forward to a better future. At ISU, we value diversity. We value the differences among cultures. And so I would like to further extend my gratitude to my fellow colleagues in the 8 languages we speak. 谢谢, merci, danke, namaste, gracias, shukran, salaman, and thank you. Now please join me in counting down as we officially graduate in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Congratulations.
Thank you, Zihua. This is a very interesting speech. No, very nice. The Southern Hemisphere Space Studies program is crammed full of activities. We had core lectures, workshop, quizzes, public events, team projects, field trips, and the collaborative final output of the white paper presentation and the white paper documents. The participants are assessed throughout all of this activity. Every year, we'd like to recognize the person with the highest academic average. For this year, the person with the highest academic average is Jessica Todd. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I wish we had 38 more of these because I think everyone has worked so hard the last few weeks and everyone deserves a mission patch. I think we can all be really proud of what we've achieved over the last 5 weeks, guys. So give yourselves a round of applause. A huge thanks has to go to all our massive staff. A huge thanks has to go to our fantastic staff, all the lecturers, faculty and TAs. You guys have worked so incredibly hard and you've made this experience so wonderful for all the participants. So thank you. We owe you guys so much. And participants, I really don't know what I'm going to do now that I'm not going to see your faces every morning. Sitting around at dinner every night, discussing the inconsistency of Mawson Lake's dinner. Listening out for Dom slaughter. Learning how to hit a piñata or eat a dumpling, or teaching you all how to speak proper Aussie and how to use a slip and slide. You've all become my family over the past 5 weeks. I truly love you all, and I'm going to miss you all like crazy. But I know that no matter where we are, we're all going to do amazing things. Over the past 5 weeks, I've seen so much passion, dedication, and hard work from each and every one of you, and I'm truly blessed that I got to spend the last 5 weeks with you and to meet you all. You all inspire me. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jessica. Excellent job. I would like now to hand the responsibilities to my co-director, Graziella Caprarelli. Graziella is an associate professor in space science at the University of South Australia and is also a former NRC fellow at NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston. She is also a member by invitation of the International Scientific Committee of the Spanish Planetology and Astrobiology Network and also an adjunct research professor at the International Research School of Planetary Science located in Pescara, Italy. Graziella is the current co-director of the Southern Hemisphere Space Studies Program. Please welcome Graziella. Yeah.
Okay, guys, this is my last time addressing you all, and I feel very sad. And therefore, unlike other times when I just speak with something coming out of my head and eventually mouth, I have prepared 6 pages of speech. You will be very delighted. Now, the thing is that I want to make sure that I don't forget anything I want to say. And so I spent all of this morning collecting my thoughts. Ultimately, everything boils down to the fact I am very proud of you. I know Omar is too. So you are an exceptional class this year, and I will never be tired of repeating it. And so you all deserve a very big applause. Now, as you all know, this was a very intense, challenging, and ultimately greatly rewarding program. And before addressing the class a little bit more, it is important for me to acknowledge several key people who helped me deliver the program. Firstly, I wish to acknowledge all the colleagues who have made this program possible. I will start with all the guest lecturers and visitors who generously contributed their time and shared their knowledge with all of us. Several of them have visited us from overseas, for example, the International Space University, NASA, the French Space Agency, the Secure World Foundation. Many of our guest lecturers and visitors, though, live and work in Australia, or specifically in South Australia, which testifies for an established and ever-growing field of excellent world leaders in space disciplines, living right here under the Southern Cross. All of these experts share the same exceptionally high level of commitment to their discipline, as well as to contributing to the emergence and growth of an Australian space program. Some of these colleagues are here today. To you all, I say once again, thank you. I must also thank sincerely Gottfried Lechner and Bill Cowley of the Institute for Telecommunication Research of this university. They have welcomed the participants in their institute and laboratories, and together with David Bruce have guided and advised them through the task of planning and running the stratospheric balloon project. This was a great success, and one of the many uplifting moments of the program, for which I want to also acknowledge the many sponsors and partners already named by Dr. Hatamle, who assisted and facilitated the execution of the experiment. Speaking of sponsors, I must also mention and thank Michael Davis, who has been instrumental in networking for the sponsorships and partnerships that have supported many sections of this program. My special gratitude goes to the teaching assistants, in no specific order: Tristan Perkins, Lydia Drabsch, Dominic Hardy, Rose Tasker, Alexandra Ryan, and Anderson Liu. The people among the audience who have been to other public events would remember them as the shadow helpers selecting questions, holding and passing on microphones, and generally making everything work. In the same vein, these young space professionals have been a constant presence throughout the program, which could not have been delivered without their enthusiasm, energy, and dedication. Without exception, they are all fine young professionals who bring honor to the ideals of the ISU tradition. I also want to acknowledge our two IT managers, Mark McKay, who regrettably cannot be here today, but who made the trip across the Tasman Sea and spent 2 weeks with us at the beginning of the program, and Nick Davis, who came all the way from Houston and spent 6 weeks making sure all the complex digital systems linking activities and documentation worked seamlessly. Thank you all for all your excellent work. The ISU and UNISA faculty members who have spent weeks working shoulder to shoulder with this class have all earned my gratitude and my deep respect for their knowledge, experience, hard work, and commitment. Organizing and then running a program like this is no easy feat. It takes dedication and passion, which all the faculty members involved in this edition of the program have in spades. We had quite a few faculty staff here over the several weeks of the program, and I regret that I cannot name them all individually right now. But I certainly hope that their experience in Australia was positive and that they will return in the future. I want to mention specifically, however, those members of faculty with whom I have worked more closely during the delivery of this program. They have been an infinite source of wisdom and advice, and in all my years working in universities over 3 continents, I can certainly say that I have never seen staff working so hard, literally around the clock, with such single-minded focus on the perfect delivery of the program and support to all the participants: Carol Carnett, Juan de Dalmau, David Bruce, and Noel Simon. I will be forever grateful to you all for volunteering to undertake the most demanding tasks and for your guidance and mentorship of the class of 2017. My partner in crime, Dr. Omar Hatamle, has been a joy to work with. Having never met in person before, even though we eventually discovered that we were both at NASA JSC at the same time several years ago, Omer and I worked via teleconference for the good part of 1 year to discuss and plan the program. In our exchanges, I was impressed by his ideas and professional approach to the program. When I finally met him, I realized that in addition to being one of the highest scholarly cited NASA space engineers, he is also a great human being. He is warm, caring, and funny, and it is no surprise that the class of 2017 has bonded with him in such a wonderful fashion. I am sure all the participants will continue to be in touch with Omer on a personal basis, if not a professional one. Finally, the person without whom this program could never have happened. Omer and I had the perfect list of lectures, workshops, activities, but without the logistical organization, corporate memory, and negotiating skills of one Miss Leslie Grady, we could never have delivered the program. Leslie, you have been a rock in difficult times and a wonderful source of advice. You have come out of retirement to help us, and I know this was not at small personal cost to you. Please know that Omer and I appreciate greatly what you have done to make sure this program would run like clockwork. Thank you, Leslie. And I'd like to applaud Leslie. And now to the class of 2017. This is the point where I am supposed to say something inspiring. The problem is, I cannot. The truth is that it is you who have been a source of inspiration to me. You all made me remember why I decided to become a university professor in the first place. Over the past few years, owing to a combination of various circumstances, I felt my passion for teaching wane. I've always known that I love mentoring and helping bright students and young early career professionals achieve their goals and fulfill their potential, and this remains one of my motivations professionally. However, changes to the structure of academic work and life over the years have progressively dwarfed this part of my professional life. Working with you has lifted my spirits and renewed my passion for interacting with students and young professionals. Without the formal constraints of an academic curriculum, I felt free in this program to devise and plan the most comprehensive and yet deep program I could come up with, given the time and resources at our disposal. But it is only at the time of interacting with you all in person that it all acquired clarity. I started my director's roles with a single brief in mind, to offer and deliver the best academic and professional experience we could. It is, however, only when I realized how high the caliber of participants is this year, the dynamic variety of your background, the energy fueling your aspirations, the conviction you all share that space is an inevitable human endeavor, and that you want to help humanity grow into a technologically advanced civilization, that I realized how important this program is and how this program can help you from here onwards to fulfill your potential. Above all, it has been a delight to interact with you all. In all your work throughout these past weeks, you have been a living example of how a group of highly intelligent, highly prepared, highly motivated individuals can draw from their diversity and mutual respect to generate the greatest results. Many of you are already professionals. I thank those participants from India and China who have joined us from their respective space agencies. Each one of you could have been a lecturer in this program, and yet you had come to us and immersed yourselves in the individual tasks and team projects, adding to the tasks the value of your extensive knowledge and expertise, and in so doing, you have done it discreetly, in a manner not overpowering the skills of the participants who are still at the early stages of their studies or careers. In fact, I have seen positive, spontaneous mentoring happen peer-to-peer, which was great to observe. Please know I have deeply appreciated your participation in our program. Thank you. To the early career participants, you are a fantastically bright group of people, and I have no doubt you will all contribute in your respective fields and following your respective inclinations to make space the human endeavor of this century. The road ahead is difficult, scientifically, technically, politically, and it is inevitable that sometimes you might think of giving up. Do not. When you feel hopeless, cast your mind back to the Southern Hemisphere Space Studies Program 2017. You have completed it under exceptional pressure and in challenging conditions, but you have done it. You can do anything. To all participants, thank you all for a great teaching and mentoring experience. You have been all I always wish those students. You have been engaging, you have been inquisitive, you have been challenging, and in so being, you have pushed us, the faculty, to aim even higher. It has not only been a pleasure, but a privilege and an honor to work with you all. I look forward to hearing about your future successes. Thank you. And I would like now to introduce one of the participants, Bahia Al-Shwahibi, for a short talk on the role of women in space. Please welcome Bahia.
Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, University of South Australia faculty, International Space University faculties, ISU alumni, ISU participants, good afternoon to all of you. It is a great pleasure to be with you today to celebrate our graduation from 2017 Southern Hemisphere Space Studies program and to talk to you about women in the space sector, the Middle East, and also reflect my colleagues' thoughts. I was happy when I found we have a common love of space. The same deep passion lets us go ahead to learn more about the sky and the space. Our first look to the sky as a children inspired us to be here today. We are here from different cultures, different countries, and different way of life, but we have the same love, loving space, and this is what ISU about, being international, multicultural, and one love, loving space. As you know, at the beginning of a space program, there were not many women in leadership positions. And now we found the space sector is led by qualified women. It is also important to encourage and help passionate young females to make their way to the space sector. Nowadays, the space sector is already filled with many inspirational women like Dr. Ellen Ocha, NASA Johnson Space Center Director. And from Middle East, Sarah Al-Amiri, head of UAE Consul, Scientist, and Emeritus Mars Mission Team Leader. There are other women like Ellen Collins, the first woman space commander, and Sojourn Yi, the first Korean astronaut, both, and many women that have inspired many young females. Many of you are asking about women, how women in Middle East participate in society, and how women in Middle East and Arab countries help the society. In my country, Oman, and as most Arab Gulf countries, we are equal with men in every sector. For example, education and opportunity of jobs. We are professors, doctors, teachers, and pilots as well. And we are lucky that His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Saeed, Sultana Oman, has given women the same rights as men, and he encouraged women to be an active part and to contribute to the society. Also, the first female minister in Arab Gulf was from Oman. The United States Arab Emirates, a good example, UAE, is a good example of successful contribution in space. The Hope spacecraft mission is the first Arabian mission to explore the Mars in 2021. Hope mission is a Mars mission, and we look into this as a project as a symbol of hope and as a means to inspire a new generation to think and look positively, and future it gives us opportunity to lead and grow. So we have very well-educated people there and experts as well, and the governments give us a lot, and this is our time and our turn to give and return back to our countries in many sectors and space sector as well. Dear colleagues, I know that some of us had some difficulties to grow in this space sector, But finally, we are here together to share our experience, and I hope this will extend to future cooperation. Also, behind every successful man is a woman, we know that. But we should say also, behind every successful woman, there is a man. I love you guys, and I love my husband. He's there. This is opportunity in ISU. This opportunity in ISU gives me a strong push to go ahead to encourage people in whole globe, and especially in Middle East, to participate more in space sector and to be part of ISU family. So I promise from here, in the next years, you will see more from Middle East and from Arab countries. Of course, all of us expected that all of us will be expected to be good ambassador for the ISU. Do you? Thank you all, and love you all.
Thank you, Bahia. That was great. Now, the reason why you're all here, there are a number of certificates to be presented today. Each successful participant will receive a certificate from the International Space University, an executive certificate from the University of South Australia, and one more certificate for those of you who completed the Space English Access course prior to commencing the SH-SSP. Dr. Omer Atamle will present the ISU certificates. Professor Simon Beecham will present the University of South Australia certificates, and Ms. Carol Carnett will present the CX certificates. Please step into your place. Mr. Genaro Marcos Acosta. Miss Emily Jessica Bathgate. Mr. Brandon Blake. Mr. Gregorio Camacho. Dr. Cao Lu. Mr. Juan Carlos Mariscal Gomez. Ms. Jessica Denise Reyes Gutierrez. Ms. Tania Maria Robles Hernandez. Mr. Matthias Hoymesser. The second row, please make your way. Professor G. Alin, who will be also receiving the CX certificate. Mr. Shyam Krishnan. Mr. Sangeet Kumar. Mr. Suresh Kumar. Mr. Lee Di-Ching, who will also receive the English certificate. Mr. Lu Dong, who will also be receiving the CX certificate. Mr. Malin, also receiving the English certificate. Dr. Ashok Narayana Murthy. Miss Evelina Onoprienko. Mr. Conrad Michael Pires. May I have the next row, please? Mr. Xiao Jiangwei, who will also be receiving the English certificate. Dr. Eduardo Rodriguez. Mr. Scott Anthony Schneider. Mr. Patrick Schweitzer. Ms. Bahia Al-Shwaibi. Ms. Jessica Eve Todd. Mr. Lawrence Trevor. Mr. Luis Ángel Castellanos Velasco. Dr. Wang Sheyang, who will also be receiving the CX certificate. Dr. Zhu Haifu also receiving the CX certificate. Dr. Yang Weiwei also receiving the CX certificate. Can I have the next row of participants, please? Mr. Ezekiel Oluwaseun Inka Kehinde. Mrs. Zhao Ning, also receiving the CX certificate. Ms. Li Hui Lydia Zhang. Mr. Zhu Guofang, also receiving the English certificate. Mr. Siwa Zhu, also not receiving the English certificate. His English is perfect. And I would also like a special mention for your friend Loïc Allier, who unfortunately cannot be here. He's been a true leader of this team, and I'm sure you all loved working with him. So we send him an applause, even though he's in the air. And I will now hand back to our program director, Omar Hatamle.
Thank you, Graziella. And congratulations to all of you guys. Have done an amazing job throughout the last 5 weeks. Excellent job. So I would just like to mention one more time, actually this year is Leslie's last time. And next year she will not be joining us for the program. So one more round of applause for the core of the program, Leslie. All right. It's my pleasure now to call on Professor Simon Beecham to say a few words about the University of South Australia. Professor Simon Beecham is the Pro Vice Chancellor of the Division of IT, Engineering and the Environment, which hosts the Southern Hemisphere Space Studies program here at Mawson Lakes. Please welcome Professor Simon Beecham.
Thank you, Omar. Mr. Nicola Sassanelli, Mr. Harry Seeger, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the participants of this year's Southern Hemisphere Space Studies programme, a warm welcome and a warm farewell. It's my pleasure to welcome you here. It was my pleasure 5 weeks ago to welcome you here, and I can't believe that those 5 weeks have gone so fast. I hope that you've all very much enjoyed your time here at Mawson Lakes, and I hope also that you've enjoyed your time in Adelaide. I hope you have an opportunity in the future to come back and visit the rest of our beautiful state of South Australia. But for now, thank you for attending this programme. The programme, one of the many benefits of the programme is a unique partnership between the ISU and the University of South Australia. And this is a partnership that we're very proud of and has produced some outstanding graduates from this programme over many years. This is the 6th time that the two universities have come together to deliver this programme. And unfortunately, the last time that Leslie Grady, who has been absolutely instrumental in that, has administered this programme just superbly. So I'd like to add my thanks to Leslie for her wonderful work over the years. But this is something that we look at every year. The two universities come together, we see the wonderful alumni from this programme, and we agree to offer the programme again. And it's almost an annual rolling thing. This year's a bit different in that we looked at the programme's history over the last 6 years, decided that this is something that both universities think is a wonderful outcome for the graduates, and it's something that the two universities will be dealing with over the next few months to formalise a long-term delivery of this programme so that it will run for many, many years to come. And I'm looking forward to that being completely finalised later this year, which will be wonderful. My role today, though, is not only to thank you, the participants, for coming together, and to thank the programme staff for doing such a wonderful job, as they always do, but to also formally thank a few people that we have a little token gift for, and I asked them to come forward to receive it and receive also a round of applause. And first of all, the Joint Lead Programme Director, Dr. Omar Hatamle.
He's just gone out.
Oh, okay. Oh. Just like the Roadrunner.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Omar.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And the UniSA co-director of this program, Dr. Graziella Caporelli. Miss Carol Carnett, SEAC tutor and English chair from the USA. Mr. Nick Davis, IT and technical lead from the USA. Mr. Juan de Dalmo, White Paper Co-Chair from the Netherlands. Associate Professor David Bruce, a former colleague of mine, White Paper Co-Chair from Adelaide, South Australia, and formerly the University of South Australia. Miss Lydia Drabsch, TA from Sydney, New South Wales. Ms. Alexandra Ryan, who is TA from Melbourne, Victoria. Ms. Rose Tasker, TA from Launceston, Tasmania. Mr. Tristan Perkins, TA from Adelaide, South Australia. And Mr. Dominic Hardy, TA from Perth, Western Australia. And finally, our resident volunteer, Mr. Terry Clark from Adelaide, South Australia. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Simon. I would like to recognize 3 participants that are not with us today. They had to leave early. The first one is Dr. Wang Gangbo, Mr. Yan Shisi, and Mr. Shen He. Please give them a round of applause. So we have reached the end of the formal proceedings. I would like to thank all of you guys for joining us this evening. I would like now to ask the participants to remain seated, and everybody else, please join us for a reception outside the hall here. Thank you very much one more time.